The first hurricane for the 2018 season, Hurricane Beryl, it's making its way to the Caribbean. Currently, it's located over the central Atlantic at about 1,510 kilometers to the east of Barbados. Hurricane Beryl had recorded maximum sustained winds of 130 kilometers per hour. Based on current projections, the center is expected to pass to the north of Barbados late Sunday or very early Monday. The 2017 hurricane season was a particularly devastating one. The Caribbean Catastrophic Risk Insurance Facility says it paid $62 million to 10 member governments during the 2017 Atlantic hurricane season. Hurricanes Maria and Irma alone accounted for $55 million in claims. And disaster management is one of the topics up for discussion at the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Montego Bay in Jamaica that's currently wrapping up. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Timothy Harris, tweeted that disaster management was among the issues which arose when the heads of the Eastern Caribbean bloc met with Chilean President Sebastián Piñera. Hurricane season 2017 was particularly active, and as you just heard, the cost to the region, Caribbean and Latin American, was very high. So what are the predictions for the 2018 hurricane season looking like? For that, I'm being joined live from Barbados by the Chief Meteorologist at the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology, Caeser, to discuss that very same question. Ms. Caeser, thank you so much for joining us. So what path is Hurricane Beryl currently on, and is it posing any threat to Caribbean islands?
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me. Currently, Hurricane Beryl is a very small hurricane at a Category 1 status. It is projected to move to the west-northwest on a path north of Barbados into the Leeward Islands. It is projected to weaken somewhat because of the current conditions, that being upper level shear, relatively cooler waters, and very dry air. So we do expect some weakening as it approaches the islands.
Now, Dominica's already on hurricane watch. Were they truly on the path again, or is this just a precaution given what happened last year?
As I said, the path is towards the Leeward Islands, which puts the islands such as Martinique, Dominica, and Guadeloupe within that range of the path. And so they still should be, again, rightly, because of what happened last year, put us an accent on the precautions and therefore put them under a warning.
Now, how does this hurricane season compare to last? Have there been any advancements in predicting the paths of hurricanes since last year?
Well, we've always been pretty good at predicting the path of hurricanes and very fairly good at the number. What has always been a challenge is in change in intensity of the storm. This year, there has been a significant reduction in the projection for the possible number of storms. Right now, the current prediction from NOAA, as well as from the Colorado State, which usually puts out a seasonal forecast, is only projecting about between 10 and 14 storms, of which 6 to 7 could become hurricanes, and 1 or 2 will become major hurricanes. And this is because of relatively cooler waters, some of the coolest waters that we've seen for a number of years across the Atlantic.
Now, the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology focuses on prediction, research, and training. What did last year's hurricane season teach the institution?
What it taught us was, again, to be always vigilant. What we saw was a heightened activity because of warm sea surface temperatures, and we were looking at that particularly this year. Also looking at the trends in the El Nino situation, and that is in terms of the forecasting. In terms of resiliency, we're looking more at how we can assist the region in being more resilient, in being, one, ready for storms, as well as activities to help warn the public and all genres, looking at how the messaging goes out, for example, being more impact-based rather than scientific-based.
Thank you so much, Ms. Caeser, for chatting with us. We've been speaking to Caeser, actually. She's the head meteorology at the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology.